Okay, guys, I want to give you a quick crash course on a reminder because we've done this a few times, but I want to show you how to graph this sine curve with a vertical shift and a period change and an amplitude change because it is going to be on your quiz tomorrow. So it is also worth keeping in mind the following. We have our normal unit circle, and it goes 1, 0 at 0 degrees, 0, 1, -1, 0, and 0, -1. And that goes 0, 90, 180, 270. And you can put them in radians. This is 0 or 2 pi. This is pi over 2. This is pi. And this is 3 pi over 2. And you should have that pretty well in hand by now. So let's move this a little bit. So the first thing you want to do is identify the amplitude, which is going to be, in this case, 2. It's this value here. And our center line, because our vertical shift moved the center line down 1, because it's -1, and that's from here. So what we start with is we're going to have a graph that looks that the midline is going to be here. Didn't snap. Let's try that again. Okay, it's going to be here. And we know that the amplitude is 2. So from that center line, it's going to go up 2, and it's going to go down. Oops, I don't know why I did that with the dashed line. And it's going to go down 2. So it looks like this in either direction. Now, the next thing is we know as we go around this unit circle, it goes, because it's sine, and those are the y values, it goes from the center line to the peak, right? Or center line, peak, center line, minimum. Well, this is going to do the same thing, but instead of doing it, because the period of this is a little bit different. The period, well, remember the b value, which is frequency, is 1/2. And that means that we're going to, instead of doing a full curve in that normal period of 2 pi, we're now going to do only a half curve in the period of 2 pi. But the way we find the full period of this one is to do 2 pi divided by b. And 2 divided by 1/2 is 4, so you can see the period in this case is 4 pi. That means to do one full cycle, it's going to happen over 4 pi instead of 2 pi. So let me show what I mean. So to graph, we're going to need 5 points for the quiz. So to do that, we always start, we know that the sine, it starts at the midline. It starts at 0. It starts at the middle at 0 degrees. So we're going to have this point here. Now typically at pi over, the next point is the peak at pi over 2. But now it's going to take twice as long because it's happening over a period of 4 pi. So instead of peaking at pi over 2 here, it's going to peak twice as long. It's going to peak at pi. So we're going to have a point here, which is going to be pi, and that's going to be 1. That's 1 point. Now the next point, it usually goes back to the center line, and it still goes back to the center line, but instead of happening at pi, it's going to happen in twice as long. It's going to happen in 2 pi. So we're going to have another point at the center line at 2 pi. So this is going to be 2 pi, -1. Now from there it goes to its minimum, which is normally at 3 pi over 2, but again it's taking twice as long. So instead of happening, oh shoot, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So instead of happening at 3 pi over 2, it's going to happen at 3 pi. It's going to go down here. So we're going to have 3 pi, -3. And then finally, the last point is going to go back and finish up at 4 pi. It completes its cycle. So 4 pi, -1. So here is our final curve. If we were to graph it, it would go like this. And you can see now it completes a full cycle over a period of 4 pi. and that means the frequency is 1/2. We get 1/2 as many curves in the standard period as we normally would. And there you go. I'll do another video for cosine in a minute. But you should definitely, consider, obviously the one in the quiz won't be exactly the same, but it'll be similar concept.